Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. For today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. As the channel has been around for a little while now, I felt that it was about the right time to make a Q&A type video. Last week, I asked you guys in the community tab to leave me whatever questions that you may have regarding me, the channel, or anything else. I also asked you to avoid questions that may involve too much deep diving into the lore, as those types of questions probably warrant a video in and of themselves. I've handpicked some questions that I felt were appropriate for this video, and if you want your question answered in the next Q&A video, then be sure to keep an eye on the community tab, where I post channel updates quite frequently. If I don't end up getting through many of these, and the video is getting quite long, don't worry, I'll pick up where I left off in another Q&A. Without further ado, let's get into it. Question number 1 is from Hrishikesh, who asks, is YouTube your full-time career or you're doing it as a hobby? The answer to that is that YouTube is now, as of roughly July, my full-time career. Prior to that, I was working in marketing. I dedicate a ton of time to the channel, and I work now more than ever, but I'm doing what I love, and I wouldn't change it for anything. This is my absolute dream job, and I want to thank you all for making it possible. Question number 2 is from Crackle EU, who asks, when did you first read Harry Potter? As the books were steadily being released as I was growing up, I didn't have access to them all right away, and so I read them at different times. However, the Philosopher's Stone was given to me by my grandfather in 1998 or 1999 when I was 6 or 7. That was when I first had exposure to the books. I guess that's where it all started. Question number 3 is from Cool Scratcher, who asks, why do you say you're a wizard, Harry, at the end of some videos, and why only some? Good question. When I first started the channel, I knew that I needed an outro of some kind, and so I eventually decided to use quotes as a way of ending videos. Initially, I flip-flopped between wanting to use different quotes each time, and just using one of my favorites. You're a wizard, Harry! You're a wizard, Harry was my go-to outro at the start, but for a while now, I've been using different ones, and my goal at this point in time is to use a different quote each video. Question number 4 is from Newsy K, who asks, who's your favourite character, and who's your favourite marauder? Let me start with my favourite character. This is not an easy question for me to answer, particularly as I like most of the characters in Harry Potter in their own unique ways. However, if I had to choose one, I think I'd go with Snape. If you had asked me this question midway through the story, then this answer might have been different. The fact that he's grey always made him intriguing to me, and I always found his level of power and perceived complete understanding of magic to be quite interesting. I think that if Snape had managed to stay alive, he could have possibly been one of the most powerful wizards to have ever lived. Whatever the book show, I've always liked grey characters, as there is a lot more to interpret. The traditional good-bad dynamic can be a bit exhausting at times, and so I found grey characters to be a bit of a breath of fresh air, as it allows for us to decide for ourselves where this character stands on the moral spectrum. As for a favourite marauder, I think that I would have to go with Sirius Black. Pettigrew is definitely out of the equation, as is James for tormenting Snape. I enjoy Remus quite a bit, but Sirius edges him out by a little. Question number 5 is from Haroon23, who asks, favourite Harry Potter movie and character? I've answered character already, but if I had to choose a favourite movie, I think I would go with either Philosopher's Stone or Order of the Phoenix. Philosopher's Stone certainly gets a lot of points for being the first film created, as it helped introduce us on screen to the magical world that we know and love. The nostalgia that I feel when watching the first film is unparalleled by anything else, which even as a standalone point brings it near the top. However, I think I enjoyed The Order of the Phoenix the most. Over the years, the Harry Potter films got darker and darker, slowly evolving from the state of childhood innocence in the first film to the sheer darkness of the last. The Order of the Phoenix, for me, lies in that sweet spot where it's neither too dark nor too innocent. It's in a place where we can appreciate the lighter side of the magical world and the darker. Without going into a full-on movie review, I think that The Order of the Phoenix encapsulates all of the key thematic elements of the Harry Potter story while providing us with a stimulating on-screen experience. So much happened in that film, from Dementors attacking Harry and Dudley, to Umbridge taking over Hogwarts, to Sirius Black dying, to Voldemort and Dumbledore's fateful duel. OOTP has it all. Question number 6 is from Forks, who asks, how do you feel about Warner Brothers removing Johnny Depp from the franchise? I honestly don't know enough about Johnny Depp's situation with Amber Heard to properly comment on it, but I do think that Johnny Depp is a great actor, and I think he did a decent job in the role. From a continuity perspective, I'm not a fan of switching out actors, but I think that as we are still relatively early on in the 5-part series, it should give us enough time to adapt. Mads Mikkelsen is about as good as it could have gotten for a recast, so I'm interested to see how things pan out. Question number 7 is from Enrique Robles, who asks, do you think we'll ever get a movie adaptation of The Cursed Child? Odds of getting a movie on James and Lily Potter growing up, leading up to their deaths? I'll start with the second part. I don't think that we're going to get a movie on James and Lily, but what I do anticipate at some point in the future is perhaps a Harry Potter show that might dive into some of the minutiae of character backstories. Maybe that's just wishful thinking. As for The Cursed Child, I don't think that we'll get a movie adaptation, and I say this because the play is not well liked amongst most Harry Potter fans. Would I watch the movie? Yes. Am I eagerly awaiting its creation? No. I do appreciate the story, but I think that's only because my mind is able to compartmentalize it and separate it from the Harry Potter story altogether. I'm not a fan of the canon that it suggests. Question number 8 is from Karthik R, who asks, what is your Hogwarts house, wand and Patronus? I'm going to post either a live stream or a video of me being sorted, having my wand selected, Patronus selected, at one point or another. Obviously, I have had it all done before, but I think I'd like to run through all of it properly in a video or video series and reveal the true answers then. What about you guys? What house are you in? Let me know in the comment section down below. Question number 9 is from Heather Long, who asks, is there any other series that has captured your imagination or interest as Harry Potter has? Bonus question, who is your favourite marauder? I've answered the second part already, but as far as another series capturing my imagination in the same way as Harry Potter, that's a tough one. I will say this, I am a big Lord of the Rings and Tolkien fan. I've obviously read all of the books and seen all of the movies, and it has a special place in my heart. But it's never been quite as much of an interest of mine as Harry Potter has been. Lord of the Rings is both impressive and fascinating, because the lore is truly deep. If there's a character, place, or even object that captures your attention in that series, there's probably more information about it out there than you can conceivably digest. My other big interest is mythology, particularly Greek mythology, which got me through my long commutes to university for a number of years. The number of audiobooks I've listened to, books I've read on it, are vast, and I probably know more about Greek mythology specifically than I do Harry Potter. I've actually considered starting a mythology channel, so if that's something that you guys would be interested in, then let me know. I would probably cover Greek, Roman, Norse, etc. Question number 10, and I think the final question of this video, I will continue with another Q&A soon, is from Hardik Nagaria, who asks, what will you choose, Butterbeer or Bertie Bott's Every Flavour Beans? When I went to Universal Studios a number of years ago, I tried Butterbeer and wasn't a fan, at least of that version of Butterbeer. I would imagine that real Butterbeer is much nicer than what I had. However, I can't forget that taste, so I will have to go with Bertie Bott's beans. And that's it for today's video. I will continue this Q&A in a video next week, so if you want to be included in that, keep commenting on the same community tab post, as I will be grabbing questions from there. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Until next time, remember, age is foolish and forgetful when it underestimates youth.